of devils, and the hold of every foul spirit, and a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth, which means the leaders of the earth, yeah, have committed fornication with her. And the merchants of the earth, all the corporations, your bankers and all these different blue chip corporation companies, yeah, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. So, from your Wall Street to your City of London, yeah, to all of these different stockbroking areas within these different European countries, yeah, and throughout America, yeah. So when it says, for all the nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. So all of these nations, they worship America, they want to be like America, and every week or every day you see that we're taking on more things that they're doing in America. We're becoming more and more and more like America throughout England and throughout Europe, yeah. So that is the nations drinking from the wrath of her fornication, because America is America is your modern day Sodom and Gomorrah, simple. And all the other nations are drinking from the cup of her fornication of Sodom and Gomorrah, which is America. Which is what's happening. And the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. Because yeah, all the leaders of the world, when they meet, whether it's a G7, G20, when they're having all these different meetings and with the different nations leaders and that, it's just so that they can share each other's experiences in terms of what they want countries to take on and what they're doing in their own countries, yeah? So how much wickedness is going on in your country and how we can bring it into your country, and so you can start using certain immoral and just wicked things, you know? And they'll dress them up as if they're doing really nicety things. But at the same time, they're just robbing the people them lying. Who they're not robbing, they're killing. Yeah, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies, aren't they? Aren't these bankers and all of these stockbrokers and all of these corporations, haven't they waxed rich for the delicacy? They were just talking about the LIBOR, the LIBOR, L-I-B-O-R scam, which the banks were doing with the foreign exchange, where they was making trillions of pounds off of the foreign exchange over the last 10 years through issuing incorrect exchange rates and so forth, and working with it. And they was basically, they were using inside information to fix the exchange rate so that they could make money from it, basically, yeah? So that it was fraud, basically. They were doing this for 7 years. They made trillions of pounds from doing this, yeah? Because it's a trillion pound market, the foreign exchange market, yeah? Where people buy and exchange dollars for pounds, pounds for dollars or euros and all the rest of it and that. To think that not a single one of them went to prison. Not a single one of them. The banks that were involved in this scandal were fined something like £5 billion, yeah, between these banks, yeah. It's a $1 trillion market, yeah, that they made trillions of pounds off of, or billions of pounds off of over the 10 years that they were doing it. They were doing it right up to 2014. And to think not a single soul went to jail, was arrested or charged, went to jail. They were just fine. But yet, they went and found this little Asian man that was working on the stock market from his bedroom, that was making money, was making millions from the stock market. He wrote some algorithm program to enable him to beat the stock market at his own game, basically. And he made millions from it. But yet, still what they done to him, they arrested him. They put him in jail. They said that he's got a £5 million bail. He had to put £5 million to get a bail. They want to extradite him to America, so they can send him to America so America can control on him their 50 or 100 year sentences that they do to people that do things within the stock market that they don't consider high enough up the chain to not worry about. But yet still, the corporations that robbed us of billions or trillions, not a single one was arrested. Not a single person was charged, not a single person went to jail. But the little man of colour that was working in his bedroom quietly making millions, they didn't like that. The establishment didn't like that. So they nicked him. So this is how corrupt the whole fucking system is. And that's just one example of many. Let me tell you. But that's how corrupt the system is. So when it says here that, it says, I'll go back to verse 3. It's Revelation chapter 18 verse 3. It says, for all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, And the kings of the earth, which are the leaders of the earth, yeah, have committed fornication with her. Her is talking about America. And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies. And the merchants are the bankers and the corporations, yeah, which they have. They've all waxed rich. They've all robbed us blind. And every time they get caught, they get a little fine. And the fine is nothing on the amount of money that they made. And they just go back doing another scam or bring up another scam or do the same scam again to make more money again. Because they're all part of the same system. Yeah? Verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High has remembered her iniquities. So basically what he's saying to us is that don't look at what they're doing and think you have to do what they're doing for you to make it in life. Because what they're doing is immoral and wickedness. They are robbing the weak and the poor. Don't believe you have to rob the weak and the poor for you to make money. It's better you stay poor than you have to be a partaker. So when the scripture says, you know, that come out of her, my people, that ye may not be partakers of her sins, that ye receive not of her plagues, it's saying to you, it's not saying to you see and blind, it's saying to see but don't partake. It's not saying to you hear and deaf, it's saying to you hear but don't spread that news. Yeah? It's not saying to you say, have voice but don't say it. It's saying to speak of it, but don't partake in it. Because when their judgment comes, you don't want to be sitting in that seat with them to receive that judgment because you wanted that quick fix that they've been giving themselves. No. If you go back to these people here, leave them to it. Leave them to it. Simple. And even if you don't go back to these people here, I will tell you the same thing. Leave them to it. Because the Lord deals with small mercies. Simple as that. These are some wicked, these establishment elites, these elitists are some wicked, evil set of people that will do anything for power and money. Anything these people will do for that. And you see it every day. But when the little man fucks up or falls over, the whole establishment's on them. They're front page news, they're this, they're that. They're everything wicked. But when the corporations do these things, oh, well, no one knew. The left foot never know what the right foot was doing. The left hand never know what the right hand was doing. The right eye couldn't see where the left eye was looking. So they are seeing blind, hearing deaf. Simple. Anyway, Revelation chapter 18 verse 5. For her sins have reached unto the heaven, and the Most High has remembered her iniquities. It says, reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. In the cup which she had filled to her, which she has filled, fill to her double. Yeah? How much she has glorified herself and lived deliciously. So much torment and sorrow give her. For she says in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow and shall see no sorrow. This is speaking of America. Babylon, when the scripture speaks about Babylon, it's speaking about America. When the scripture speaks about Egypt in its prophetic sense, it's speaking about America. So when it says how much she has glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she says in her heart, I sit queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Because that's what America believes. They believe that their kingdom, their imperialism, and their imperialistic society, their elites that they put together, is going to go on forever. Fuck me, the Romans did twice as good as what you guys did. The Romans' army was twice as fucking good as you guys. What they built, what they controlled was twice as big. But yet still, they came to what? They came to naught. Why? Because the Most High said so. But these people are blinded by pride. They're so proud. They believe that they sit a queen, like the scripture says, and that they will see no sorrow. But the scripture says, reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her according to her works. In the cup which she has filled, which is the cup of slavery for us, it says, fill to her double. How much she has glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. But she says in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning, and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is the Most High who judges her. So it says you will be utterly burned with fire. And that goes back to the point we're talking about the nuclear weapon. Only a nuclear weapon can destroy and consume someone with fire, with the wind and the fire and the radiation. Only nuclear weapon can do that. Any other kind of conventional bomb blows you to pieces. It can create a fire and burn down a building and so forth, but not to the extent and the heat and the power that what a nuclear weapon is going to do. A nuclear weapon will consume your skin off of you while you're standing on your feet. It will consume your eyes and your tongue, just like the scripture says. So when the scripture says here, Revelations, it says, therefore shall her plagues, talking about America, shall come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. Speaking about America. For strong is the Most High who judges her. And the kings of the earth, so these are all the other leaders of the earth, which speaks about the kings of the earth, all the other government leaders, presidents and prime ministers of the earth, who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her. So all of those that have traded with her, have lived deliciously, have fornicated with her, all the other countries throughout Europe, throughout Australia and New Zealand and all those places, and China and Japan and Malaysia, Singapore, Indonesia, England, all these countries, it says, and the kings of the earth, so all these leaders of these different countries who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her, which is what they've done. They've gone into bed with her and they've accepted and did exactly as she has asked them to do, shall bewail her and lament her when they shall see the smoke of her burning. So all these countries are going to see the smoke of America burning during the destruction. So during the nuclear fallout, and when Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai comes with the angels in their chariots and they totally destroy America, it says what? It says the kings of the earth who have committed fornication and lived deliciously with her shall bewail her and lament her for her when they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off for the fear of her torment, saying, alas, alas, that great city Babylon, that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. So they're actually going to be celebrating your destruction, America. Because when the truth of what you have done to these nations, even while you was in bed with them, the wickedness that you've done to them while they wasn't looking, it's all going to come to light. So when the destruction comes from Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai and the angels, and from the other nations that are going to turn their weapons on America, and I keep telling them, the scripture speaks of all the nations are going to turn their nuclear weapons on America because the truth is going to be revealed about that nation, things that these other nations never actually knew. They're going to be celebrating your destruction, but they're going to be celebrating it from afar. And that's what the scripture says. When I go to Matthew chapter 24, New Testament. Matthew chapter 24. So, Matthew chapter 24, verse 24. We'll start verse 24, chapter 24, yeah? For there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. So they're going to try and deceive us. The ones of us that truly believe in Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shai, these same demons are going to try and deceive us. Yeah? So it says, behold, I have told you before. Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chambers, believe it not. For as the lightning cometh out of the east, and shineth even unto the